listen, we're, as you know, aficionados of comedy on this program. Thrilled that we had Jerry Seinfeld on the program last week, and then he gave us a shout-out over the weekend on Weekend Update, which we'll talk about later on in this program because holy crap. And then Jeffrey Ross has been on this program multiple times. And the greatest roast of all time, as it was called by Netflix last night, honored to have delivered the first spoken word live last night.
Great job, Rich.
Inside the Forum, welcoming everybody into that building last night and introducing Kevin Hart, who got things started. Let me just tell you something. That roast on Netflix of Tom Brady was absolutely outstanding. Every single word, every single syllable. A couple sets, didn't light the flame of the roast. But other than that, I'll tell you, it was just absolutely spectacular. If anybody missed it last night, obviously you can check it out on Netflix right here on Roku. And it's going to live there forever. And, man, I kind of felt sitting there last night with Suze, next to the Grays, by the way, Jim Gray and his wife, across from another Jim Harbaugh, next to Kyle Shanahan, the 49ers head coach, was there as well. It was really a who's who, quite a bit of who's who last night. I kind of felt like I was watching a long overdue psychiatric session for the New England Patriots organization.
Because you were.
I kind of felt like we were inside a safe space, a safe haven for the Patriots to get 20 years off their chests.
Just free.
Am I wrong?
Unloaded.
Kevin Hart in the role of Dr. Melfi?
I guess so. Where, it was just the Forum turned into one huge couch. And one after another, we saw a Patriot lie down on the couch and get off their chest something they really wanted to say to the other. And the wild thing is all of the psychology of the Patriots dynasty behind the scenes that we saw on that Apple TV documentary that Belichick also roasted.
Oh, the roast of Bill Belichick?
The 10-part roast of Bill Belichick on Apple TV on the dynasty. It just seemed like they had to get something off their chest to the other, and for some reason chose to use the platform of Netflix in front of a live television audience of millions to finally get it off their chest and say it to the person they've been dying to say it to. And they all did it in honor of Tom Brady, who I must say, putting himself in that position last night to hear it from everybody, including comedians I'm sure he'd never heard of prior to being introduced to them by an outstanding writing staff that Sarah Tiano was part of.
Yes.
Whose roast did she personally produce?
Gronk and Peyton Manning. A little bit of Belichick.
Oh my God, those were amazing. And so, for Brady to put himself in this position is spectacular, top-notch move out of him. And he didn't have to. He heard about his wife. He heard it about his sisters. He heard it about his crypto. He heard it about his soccer team from Belichick, which we'll hear in a second. He heard about it, and the it is something that he didn't want to hear about over and over and over and over again. But it did.
The most public failures of his life,
It provided the safe space for a therapy session for the Patriots, long overdue. Drew Bledsoe first up.
Kicked it off, man.
After Kevin Hart did what all roast masters have to do in charge of a roast is come out and set the tone. He was the first one to talk about Tom's ex-wife. He was the first one to talk about everything that Brady didn't want to hear about, and he did it in the most profane, hilarious manner, which is the way the first up host of a roast needs to do. He's got to clear the field and let the field following behind him. He's got to set the stage for the dais. And then Jeffrey Ross came out as Roast Jay Simpson. Okay.
With like a bunch of devils.
With a bunch of devils around him. And then he was the first one to take a shot at Bob Kraft, which Brady came up and said to him, cut that out, and cleaning it up. Having no idea that after he said, would you like a massage, that Susie and I would be the subject of the cutaway.
Yeah, you guys were
had no idea.
Immediate.
Okay. And so then comes Drew Bledsoe, who had this to say to Tom Brady.
Buddy, you have more rings than I do, but I've experienced a couple things that you will never experience. The feeling of being the number 1 overall draft pick in the NFL. And a 28th wedding anniversary. It was yesterday.
Just destruction, man. It's savage.
All right, so there was that. How many times do you think Bledsoe want to say to him, so, okay, Mr. 199, I know you took my job and the rings and all that, but I had a pretty quick draft night. How about you?
I'd still take Tom.
Belichick comes out, by the way, introduced by Ron Burgundy. Brilliant.
I'm Ron
to the Death Star music.
Oh, my God. And then at one point had this to say to Tom Brady.
I see your soccer team, Birmingham City, got knocked down to another tier in the English Football League. So, for those not familiar with English football and the intricacies to their obscure regulation system, just let me say, I'll put it in English for you, they suck. Not so easy running a team, is it, Tom? People have said that Tom and I have butted heads a lot, and in a way that was true, but not really. It was hard to butt heads with Tom because he was so far up Alex Guerrero's ass.
Now, that right there, Alex Guerrero, and the whole conversation, right, about Alex Guerrero with Brady wanting Alex Guerrero to have an office and Alex Guerrero being his, body coach, his health
on the plane,
guru.
on the sideline.
And then Guerrero had to be, apparently Belichick evicted him. Yeah. I mean, that's a fault line that nobody ever talked about. And then he had that joke to Brady. Whose joke was it last night saying that good luck getting, going to be on the – oh, no, Bob Kraft. Bob Kraft said, you're going to, good luck owning a piece of the Raiders. They've already done for you what you want, what you've always wanted. One of your favorite things is just getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. He said that to Brady.
I mean, Edelman said Guerrero, the snake oil salesman.
Oh, my God. Well, then Edelman, Gronk, we can't replay because he couldn't put 3 words together that's safe for air. Okay, including the joke that he apparently created himself about the size of Tom Brady's reach.
Yes.
Okay?
Reach.
So, wow. And Sarah confirmed on Twitter today he did, in fact, write that joke. When he said, I wrote that joke. Ha-ha.
Yeah, he really did.
Okay. And so... But Edelman gave up the ghost about this being his therapy session, in case you hadn't figured it out by this point, of what he said to Bill Belichick. Because Bill, to his credit, also stayed on the stage and sat on the dais. He sat between Gronk and Randy Moss. When he was done, he just took a seat. Can I sit right here? He stayed.
And he was laughing the whole time.
And kudos to him for staying, because he could have... Because when you sit on the dais, you are opening yourself up to slings and arrows.
Other people did not stay.
Oh, they did not. They did not. Ron Burgundy left, Peyton Manning and Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck left.
So, at any rate, Edelman gave up the ghost. Listen to what he said in the middle of his strafing of Bill Belichick.
You remember when you used to yell at us? Look, f***holes, kids down at Foxborough High can make that play.
I've been waiting for this for so long.
Look, asshole, Foxborough High is the only job offer you f***ing had.
I've been waiting for this for so long. That was kind of, I know that the name of the Tom Brady roast was the greatest roast of all time, the GOAT.
GOAT.
It could be renamed, I've been waiting for this for so long.
Just for all these guys to finally take shots at Bill.
Finally take shots at Bill, at Tom, at Alex Guerrero, and Brady to return fire, and Belichick having to, I mean, in all honesty, Belichick being there for Brady is something that obviously in 2019, 2020, we didn't think would be possible by 2024. Okay. And then it might even be too soon. Kevin Hart bringing up Belichick and Kraft for a shot together, you know, and Bill like it kind of looked like there was some reluctance, to be straight up, even though Bill was a great sport on every front last night.
But he did it.
He got up
there
and he did it. Susie and I were looking like, did he drink?
He eventually
did. He was the last one
Bob
to
slammed,
do it.
Bob and Kevin slammed right away. Bill kind of paused.
I mean,
and then he did it.
Holy cow. We saw a therapy session on Netflix last night, including, which we'll discuss later on the program, Brady seemingly saying he no longer pleads the fifth. He deflated footballs. And flat out, listen, it's a joke.
Come on, guys.
Hey, man, you know my 2 cents on it.
There's always some truth in a joke.
It doesn't matter.
I plead the fifth.
No longer.
He did not write the joke.
Later on in the show, we'll hit that. But my goodness gracious, was that phenomenal. It was great to be there. Yeah. It was an honor to start it. It was a night to remember. We need more roasts. We need more folks to do this. And apparently Brady and Jeff Ross are in business together. I think Brady owns this GOAT now, right?
They now co-own the roast.
Right, and so they're going to do this again and again and again, and maybe not for just sports people, like whoever's the greatest of all time in their endeavor. Yep. And for Brady to do it, I don't know of another person of his status and his standing and his reputation out there, certainly in the sports world, that would subject himself to this.
Would Jeter do it?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
A lot of gift basket jokes.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, it's clearly all on the table when you do that, and he knew it, and I saw him. Susie and I ran into him underneath the stage about 15, 20 minutes before air. I've never seen him look like that. He looked, and he even said,
nervous.
He basically said, paraphrasing, I don't know what I got myself into.
Yeah. And you could see it right away. Kevin Hart coming out, like you said, set the tone, made a Giselle joke at like the 2-minute mark, and you could see the look on Tom's face. Why did I agree to this? Right.
Why
did I say yes?
And then about an hour in, he'd heard it pretty much
and
all of it.
He loosened up. He had a few, tequilas.
He heard pretty much all of it, and at that point in time, he knew with each passing roaster, Nikki Glaser was phenomenal. Tony Hinchcliffe was brilliant. With each passing roaster last night, he was getting closer to his rebuttal, which he crushed. What a night. Cannot stress to all folks out there enough. Check it out on Netflix right here on the Roku portal. And make sure the kids are tucked away.
Yes.
Earmuffs. If they're anywhere near the television. Oh, my God. Was that amazing? Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.